Welcome to Shexa's YouTube channel, and welcome to one of the practical lectures as requested by some members that are doing information technology and computer applications. So today we are going to cover PowerPoint from scratch. We'll cover the main points. We'll cover what we think is more important in PowerPoint. So before we start, I just want to encourage people to subscribe to this channel. Just click the red subscription button or the red subscribe button that is appearing just below this video that you are watching. Right. So I will show you a typical PowerPoint slideshow that you are expected to have whenever you prepare a PowerPoint slide. Right. So before I define what PowerPoint is, before we do anything, this is the slide that you are supposed to be able to come up with. All right. So I will run it from A to Z for the first time, and I will run it for the second time, telling you exactly what is supposed to be done. So this is the slide. I just clicked on start, and then here it shows my name, and then I click next. Let me open the keyboard so that maybe you can see where all these things are coming from. Today I'm going to move a bit slow because last time I got some complaints where others were saying, you are too fast, we cannot get what you are saying, and some were saying we cannot see what is on the slide. So I am going to zoom in or increase the size of the text that is going to appear on my slide. And I encourage you to use your laptops instead of using your mobile phone, because some of these things you may not see them. And the other thing is, I want you to learn through practice, learn through following what I do, learn through doing. So as I do, copy and do it on your own personal computer or any device that you are using, and that device must be capable of doing exactly what I'm doing here, no matter the version that you are having on your device. Right, so this is the slide, and because some were complaining about the size, the size of the text that is appearing on the slides, I'm going to change the size here. Alright, so I'm going to change the size of these things, and then increase the size to that. Right, so you need to see what I'm doing here and learn how to do it, but at the moment I'm doing it for you to see what I am going to present to you, so you do not have to stress yourself to say what is it that this guy is doing. So we are just waiting for others to come, and for more likes to come. I want to see more likes coming in. I want to see more likes coming in, more comments, positive comments. I'm seeing them all, and sometimes I fail to say thanks to every positive comment. so bear with me on that. So let me increase the size there. Just put that, and put the line as well. So you see how I increase the size of these text messages. Let me just upload it. It's loaded already, and just leave it there. So this is how it's done. This is how you do it. I want to see more likes coming in. The moment I finish editing this, I want to see more likes coming in. Let's put it to 40. And why is this one? This one is says it's 80. I need 40 there. And this one I think it's 70 something. Let me put 40 there. Right. So let's just wait for others to come. Right. Right. So that's fine. Let's start our business for today. Let's start our business for today. Right. So before we start, just delete these things. Delete that. Delete that. Delete that. That one as well. Put this one there. And put this one there. Right. So what you shall expect from this lecture is this. What we're going to do is we shall come up with a PowerPoint slideshow which presents or which runs like this from scratch. It runs like this. Let me write. It opens the name of the presenter. Then from there you click next or downward arrow, and then you say the topic that you're going to present about, and then from there you go to the next slide where you define your objectives to say in this presentation or in this lecture I'm going to talk about these interface overview, that is PowerPoint interface. We're going to talk about tabs, we're going to talk about ribbon, we're going to talk about groupings, we're going to talk about presenters notes. And exactly this is the outline of what we are going to do right now today in this lecture, right? But I am teaching you how to present. Get this correct. So what are we learning? We are learning to use Microsoft PowerPoint. Get me? Microsoft PowerPoint. What is it that is called Microsoft PowerPoint? I think I will elaborate on that, so you shall be able to come up with something which moves from one slide to the other in this way. And then we have PowerPoint interface overview. You might have a picture, then you describe the interface using the picture. Then you have that transition. I will describe what a transition is, but as you saw from that slide, that's what we call transition. Then we talk about tabs. Maybe use a picture as well about to talk about tabs, and these are exactly the tabs that we have. Then that one is another transition which is different from other transitions that we have seen from this slide. And then next we want to talk about ribbon, and then PowerPoint ribbon title pops in or zooms in. Then we have that title as well. Then we can use an image to describe what a ribbon is and to illustrate as shown by this picture. So the area circulated with the blue line is the one that we are calling the ribbon. Wow, what's that? Somebody might ask. So that sound, as you observed from this slide, it it opened up without me clicking next. So what is it? It's something else that we're going to learn today. So I just click once, next, and then everything comes up by itself. Then it pops out or it shrinks in, and then we go to the next slide, which is about PowerPoint notes. And then here PowerPoint notes title pops in, and then presenters notes goes, and then here I choose to describe presenters notes using a text box with some describing or descriptive text message. And then from there I then go to the next slide with this transition where we can see a rolling egg. If I click next, you will see the egg rolling, right? So I can have it roll twice. So by the end of this lecture, you shall be able to come up with such things. And then that's it for rolling egg. Here you shall also be able to come up with a rolling ball or colliding balls. So these are the colliding balls, and you might also have some sounds to say when they collide. You see, that's so we are going to learn all this today. So this is just an overview of the outcome, or what you shall be able to do, what you shall be able to come up with after learning this using PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint application. So right, let's go back to the first slide and talk about what PowerPoint is. What PowerPoint is, and why we want to learn PowerPoint. So the PowerPoint, from the term PowerPoint, as you can see here, this is the term PowerPoint. So PowerPoint, power with capital letter P, point with capital letter P as well. So why do you have these two capital letters representing each term? Somebody can say, in each slide, right? So PowerPoint, this is just an application which is used to present or to make presentations, whether business presentations, school presentations, or to illustrate something, whatever that you want to illustrate. Maybe it's an industrial process or whatever that you want to present to your audience. You can use PowerPoint Microsoft application, right? So to present something, you do not have to fill the slides with a lot of text. What is needed within a slide are the points, and by PowerPoint we are saying the points are the ones that exist within the slide. The points are the ones that we want to see on the slide. For example, here you can see only 2 points. The one which is saying Shexa Martin, when I present, which is going to be used, or which I used to introduce myself. So maybe if somebody is presenting on this topic or is using this slide to present, you might start with this slide, and by default, or by the way the slide was made, it goes this way. This one, this animation goes, and then without me clicking anything, Shexa Martin appears. And by this time, that's when I will say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shexa Martin, and today I'm going to present about PowerPoint. I press next. You see? So by doing this, when I say PowerPoint, then I now say PowerPoint is a Microsoft application which exists within Microsoft Office suite, and it is used whenever you want to make presentations, whether business PowerPoint or business presentations or educational presentations, or whenever you want to show some illustrations to any audience of your choice. right? So when I go to the next, I expect to see only points on the slide. And what else? The power of those points exists within the presenter. So me being the presenter, I'm the one that is expanding the brief or short phrases that are existing on the slides as notes. Sorry, I'm having a call here, but I'm not going to take any calls. My brother, can you help me, Mr. Chinese? Can our phone just say he's busy with lecture? Right, so that's it. These are the points. You say, you introduce yourself, you introduce the topic or any subject that you're going to present about. From there, you say next. Right, so I have described or defined what PowerPoint is. It's just an application developed by Microsoft, and it exists within Microsoft Office PowerPoint, right? And on each and every slide, we expect to see only points, and the presenter is the one that is going to give us the power of those points. You get that? So we go here. Here are the objectives, and the objectives goes interface overview, where we will talk about all the graphical user interface of this application called PowerPoint. We're going to talk about the tabs, we're going to talk about the ribbon, we're going to talk about the groupings, and then presenter's notes. You see, on this slide, do you have a lot of text? This might be the maximum number of points that you may have in a PowerPoint slide. 2 for 6. 6 is too much. These are too many points within a single slide. But since these points, they are one word or at most 2 words, it's okay. That's what justifies this number of points within a slide, and nothing more, or we don't need to expand a lot on each slide, on each point rather, which means minimum time is spent on each slide. Then we go to the next. So that's what you do when you want to talk about when you want to present, or when you want to prepare a PowerPoint presentation. So whenever you prepare a PowerPoint presentation, few notes or few points and more about the points is then said by the presenter. And when you have an image, it's more better, it becomes more easier for you. So let's start with the overview of the PowerPoint interface. So I will start with the file button. The file button, I will click it so that you see what happens when you click it. So the one that I'm using here is Microsoft PowerPoint 2016. So 2016 is the latest version, if we do not have any other version which is after 2016. So other versions, maybe 2007 is does not have this file button. It has got Microsoft Office button here. So the Office button works the same as the file button. So don't confuse the two to say I do not see the file button on my Microsoft Office PowerPoint 2007. Right? So the file button, it's used to provide these options to the user. We have new is used when you want to create a new PowerPoint slide, new PowerPoint slideshow. Then we have here open, if you want to open an existing PowerPoint file. Save, if you want to save this PowerPoint. Save as, if you want to save it with a different name, or if you want to save it to a different folder. Then print, if you want to print your PowerPoint slideshow. So if I click here, you see print options, number of copies appear here. If I want 5, I can increase there. If I want to print, choose the printer here. I go to this list of printers. I can change the settings here to say I want to print all slides, or I want to print only these the current slide or custom range of slides, and other settings as follows. Right, you can share this with your colleagues online, email, and so forth. You can export it to video or to CD or anything else. Then you can close this. So that's Microsoft Office Office button or file button. So we are now done with this button. Then just up above this button, we have what is called quick toolbar, where we have the save button, which is used to save your file, undo to reverse the most recent operations, then this one to redo or repeat some operations that you have undone. Then we have begin slide from the beginning, or start to run the slideshow from the first slide. Then that's it. That's the quick toolbar for you, quick access toolbar for you. Then from there we have our tabs. So this is home tab with these commands. You can see these commands changing when I click on insert. So you can see that here I can insert a new slide, you can insert a table, you can insert a picture, and so forth. So these are the tabs home, like described in this slide. We have these are the slides, these are the tabs that we have. So these are the tabs we have: home, insert, design, transitions, animation, slideshow, review, and so forth. But this one is the one that is that we are working on. So home, we can have insert and have design. So click them so that you can see what we have on each tab. Then here we have animations, here we have slideshow, here we have review, here we have view, here we have that, here we have that. So these are our tabs, these ones. So if you do not want to confuse yourself, you can copy the list of these slides, these tabs from this list. But when you click on each tab, you can see that each tab has got its own group of commands or its own group of buttons. You see this? Right. So we are done with the tabs. Let's now look at the ribbon. You will see that each tab has got its own commands that exist within the ribbon. So which one is the ribbon now? I will use this slide to show you the ribbon. So this is the ribbon. This is the ribbon. That area. So we come back to our original interface. If I zoom, I only zoom slide content. But here, that's our ribbon. So if I click here, what is changing here is the ribbon, the content of the ribbon. So insert, the content of the ribbon has changed. Design, the content of this tab has changed. Transitions has got its commands, its commands, yes, and buttons that are different from the buttons or commands of animations. You can see they've changed. Slideshow, we have those commands. So this area with commands or buttons, that's what we are calling the ribbon. That's what we are calling the ribbon. So I think I need to use something called snipping tool to show you exactly what we are talking about. Right, so this is the ribbon, this one. This is the ribbon, right? You see that? This is the ribbon for slideshow, but the ribbon for for transitions is this one. So if I say, if I am to highlight, so this is the ribbon for transitions, the ribbon for animations, for design. I say new, so let me put there, design, so you can tell me the commands that exist within this. So within this ribbon you can see that we have commands, but these commands, let me go back to home and then show you the ribbon for home. So this is the ribbon for home, right? You can observe that within this home ribbon we have groupings here. That's group, that's group, that's another group, that's another group. So these groupings, this is clipboard, and clipboard commands are these ones. Then slide commands are these ones. Then font commands are those ones. Then we have paragraphing commands, which are these ones. And then we have drawing, and so forth and so forth and so forth as we go that side. You see, so these are the groupings as illustrated by this slide. And let me show you here. And this one I don't think it's going to stay, so these are the commands. Let me just show you here. So this clipboard, and it's demarcated by this line, which is it's a bit faint, you may not see it. So these are the commands under clipboard, and these are the commands under slide, and these are the commands under font, and these are the commands under paragraph, these are the commands under drawing, editing, and so forth. So these are the groupings as you see those, right? So we are just talking about the whole interface. And then let's talk about the presenter's notes. So here, let's say I do not know more about presenter's notes. I may choose to write presenter's notes here. I may choose to write some notes about the points that I'm going to expand. Since I need to talk about the points to my audience as if I know everything that is within my slide, I will use this to remind me about some other points that I'm using to expand the main points that are existing within my slide. So I may put some text here to say these notes are only meant for the presenter, right? Like that. So these notes, they do not show, or they do not appear when I run my presentation. So let me run from the current slide, from this one. So from current, you see, that's it. See my slide going. You will see that you cannot see those presenters notes, but I'm seeing them here on my on presenter's computer. So this is what is being projected by the projector, but this is what is let me show you what is what will be showing on presenter's computer. So these notes are only meant for the presenter. So I may say this while reading, but making sure that I'm keeping eye contact with my audience. So I may just have a glance on those presenter's notes. Then now I know I can repeat those words exactly or word for word. And then the audience may say, yeah, no, this guy really knows what he is presenting. But that's not it. And I may say, I may tell you the next slide that is going to come, and I see it here. to say rolling egg animation. So I will say, right, we are done with this. Now let's talk about the rolling egg before it pops up. Then the moment I say that, I then click on next. Then the rolling egg comes in. You see, the rolling egg is there. And then on my computer, I can then click next to see the rolling egg. So that's presenter's notes for you. And here I may read presenter's notes on this slide, because here you cannot see any text, but I might want to say something, and that's something I may not remember it by head. So I put additional notes on presenter's notes. So I might read this. This egg is marked twice with the 2 pencils of different colors to check whether it's actually rolling. And that's what you are seeing here. So to check if the egg is rolling, this color must go up here while this one is going down to actually show that the egg is rolling. And the main reason why I chose to have an egg-shaped circle is to show that the shape is actually changing as we are rolling our egg. So that's our egg, and I will show you how to design such an animation. Then we go next to, I think I'm done with the interface. I'm done with the interface. The next thing that we are going to talk about is the meaning or the main functions of each tab. So this tab has got this. If you want the home tab, it has got clipboard where you can copy and paste. Whenever you copy, you are using home tab. Slides, you can add new slides. Say I want new slide. If you click there, you can add more slides. So I do not want to do that. I will show you how to add new slides as we start our own project in a few minutes to come. So here you can change the layout and so forth. Insert, you can insert picture, table, slide, photos and so forth. Table, you may insert some graphs and so forth. Chart, header or footer. Like I have something here which is saying made by Shexa. This is the footer. You insert by clicking here. You see how we can add that. Then design, you can change the design. As you see, the design is changing. So let me click this one so that you can see how the design is changing. I may click that one, I may choose this design, I may choose that design, but I don't want all these designs. I want this one. Let me revert back to that one. So these are the themes that you may choose, and these are the variants of this theme. So you may click here to see fonts and other effects and so forth. And then you can also change background by this this button, which is under design. So you might be asked by somebody to change the background of his or her PowerPoint. So let's close all these pens. And then transitions, you may choose any transition from this. You will see how we apply transitions as we start our project next in the next 5 minutes. So slideshow, you can choose to start from the first slide by clicking here. So it starts with the first slide. But if you choose to run from the current slide, let's say I'm here, if I say current slide, I will start to run my slide from this second slide. So present online, I can present it on the internet, custom slideshow and so forth and so forth. Review, right? So on slideshow, something which is important is yes timings. This one helps you to check the time that you are spending on your slides. On each slide, this is the time that you spend on one slide, and this is the overall time that you spend presenting the whole slide. So you see that if I go to next, now this is the time that I'm going to spend, that I have spent on this slide, and this is the total time that I've spent running my slide. And you may choose to save your slide timings. All right, So that's it. You may experiment with other buttons. You may check spelling and other things. You may show comments and so forth. You may choose to, this is the normal view that you are having. I may change it to online outline view. I may change it to slide sorter, so that maybe I may change the order of my slides, but I do not want to do that. Page, notes page, you may view your notes and then the slide. You may add your notes here, the presenter's notes. Reading view, so this is the reading view, so we do not want the reading view, slide master and so forth and so forth. You may choose to experiment with all these other things, and if you do not understand any of these, please give me a comment so that maybe I can have another slide, another lecture or another video specifically talking about what you have asked. Right, so let's go back to our normal view. Right, I think we are done with the overall interface, and I will leave you watching this video for the next few minutes so that maybe I can have a small rest and you might also refresh. So let's save the video here. Right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now start our new project. I hope you have enjoyed that video. Somebody might say, why that video? I'm actually showing you that video because it tells you the importance of having security cameras on our houses, on our shops, on everything that you want to secure. Just having the camera there, whether it's working or it's not, it's so important. Whenever the thief sees that camera, he or she might be frightened or be afraid to do that malicious activity. So right, let's start our new project. So you click on new, then you say you want to start with a blank slide. So here we type in what we want to have as the title, and last time we said we want to have it as what, Shexa, maybe presenter's name. So here we just say presenter name. I'll say presenter's name here, and then you click or you highlight everything, then you choose the color, maybe let's say that one, and then you might bold it and then drag it to a position where you want it. Then let's insert some pictures, because previously we were seeing some images moving from that side and other on that side. So I click on insert and then choose pictures, and I'm going to put this picture. So let me go to my downloads, that's where my pictures are. And then from there I go to images. Then on images, I select my logo. Let me select Shexa's logo. This is the latest one. Let me select that one and then resize it. You see how I resize it? Right, let me put it there and then resize it to something like this, maybe small icon like that, and then let me have another picture. So that's how you choose pictures, that's how you insert pictures. That's how you insert pictures. Let me choose another picture. Right, let me choose this one and insert it. So this one I put it on that side, then drag it or resize it to that, and then position it there. Right, after positioning it there, I can, right, so now I have that. Let me test what happens when I run my slides from the beginning. They come all at once, but now I want this one then and that one to come at once. So I will use this is the keyboard, so I will click on that one and then click on control and then click that one as well. So I have highlighted these two pictures that I've inserted on my slide. I will go slowly so that you understand what we are actually doing here. I want you to understand everything, right? So I've inserted these two images and I have highlighted them. I want them to be to appear or to zoom in. So I go to animations, then I choose zoom here, right? So let me click on control again to deactivate it. Right, so let me test. So you don't see that, you don't see the animations, but when I click on here, you will see them zooming in. You see? So up arrow is used to go back, downward arrow is used to move forward. Well, you can use these arrows. Right, so I want to animate this one as well. I want to animate, but before that I want these two to pop up the moment I start to run. So I click on animation pen, then this is this picture and this is that picture. So I click there and then start with previous, so that the moment I say run, it pops in. You see, the moment I just say run, it zooms in. Then this one as well, I want this one too, but before I start animating this one, let me have this one, let me add an animation to this one. So you can add an animation by clicking that one. Let me put my keyboard there and then add animation. Then I want motion animation, motion parts. So I choose which one is highlighted there. I think this is the one. So I choose right. So you see preview there. So that's how it's going to move. So I want this one to start with previous, so that the moment this one starts, this one starts. No, I want this one to start after the previous. So you see, if I preview, click on preview, you see that's what happens, but this one is not moving. So I click this one and then add animation, and I choose more motion, and I want this one to go to the left. All right, like that. And then I want this one to start with previous, so that it starts, sorry, I said what, start with previous, so it starts with that one. So I say a preview, right, but it's not going back, it's not going back. So what do? I click that one. So you click on control and then you click that one, so you highlighted both animations. And then you click the drop down arrow, you go on timing, you go on effect, auto reverse, then you say okay, and then preview. You see, but it's not repeating, so I want it to repeat until I get out of this slide. So I go there and then on repeat, select. So you can change duration, delay, start, and change start on click, previous, and so forth, and then you click OK. All right, so let me preview. Because it's a preview, it cannot repeat, so let's run it. So let's run it here, and just wait, fold our hands and see what happens. Wow, it's now repeating. It's now repeating. All right, so let's click on escape. All right, and then what we need is to animate this one as well, so that it zooms in. It zooms in, and it must zoom in after first round of these animations. So we add animation, and then we say zoom. Then this one must start after that one. So it starts after the first cycle is completed. So let's run it and fold our hands. Right, presenters notes is popping up now. All right, so that's it. And then we want to say PowerPoint here. So instead of retyping here and have, right, let's just do it. Let's just have our PowerPoint term here, right, and say and highlight everything. So what we want to do is we want to use this one. So we want to copy here to there. So we highlight that, and then that one there. Right, so we have copied the formatting that we have applied here to this one. So you highlight what you want to copy, then you click on format painter, you click where you want to apply the same formatting. You see, so but anyway, I don't want to do that. Let me apply a different color here. I want this one, and I want it to be a bit bigger, right, like that. And I want to resize this one, and I want to put this one close to the center but a bit below, and this one I don't want to be closed by these pictures. And then this one I apply animation. Here I want to apply a different animation, so I can choose this one to bounce in, and this one starts after the previous. Right, so let me run this slide and fold my hands. Right, you can see that this one is coming up after this one is on, which means I may not have time to finish this one and then go to this one. So I will say I want this one to start on click, so that I can say whatever I want to say about myself and then introduce the topic that I'm going to present. You see, so powerful points are the ones that appear within each slide. Powerful points, somebody might say it's the points that are on the slide, and then the power of those points come from the presenter. And somebody can say powerful points, only powerful points are put on the slide, and the presenter elaborate or expand those powerful points with more information. Right, so we are done with this one, but there's another thing that we want to add, which is the footer, which tells us to say this was designed by somebody called Shexa. So we go to insert because we want to insert something. We want to set a footer. If you want to insert date, you just tick there. If you want it to be fixed, you select that one, and this date is the only date that is going to be showing on your slides. But if you say update automatically, the day that you are going to present, the date of that day is the one that is going to be shown. But I don't want that. And here, if you want to number the slides, you can select slide number, but I just want to put my name there. Designed by Shexa. Right, apply to all. Apply to all, it means all the slides that I'm going to create, they will have this footer. If I just say apply, it will apply only to this slide. So I will say apply to all. Right, so if I zoom in, you can see I'm pressing Control and then scrolling the mouse wheel button. Designed by Shexa. You can see here. Right, so let me zoom it back to 100%, and then close this animation pane. We are done with this one. We close the animation pane. Right, and I want to save. So you see, that's what I want to save. I want to save it to this folder, and I'll say PowerPoint copy. So I'll say PowerPoint copy. So you can save this as PowerPoint. So this is the file type pp.pptx, but I may choose to save it as an image. I may choose to save it as PDF. I may choose to save it as a video or anything else which exists within this list, and then save. So PowerPoint copy is saved. So you can see the name here is changed from presentation 1. Right, so I want to add another slide, so I can still under insert, I can say new slide, or I can go back to home and then say new slide. See, so it will come that way. Then I can edit my title and other things, but I don't want to do that because that might waste my time. I just want to copy this slide because I don't want to restart inserting pictures and other things. So what I will just do is I'll just say click the slide that I want to copy, then press on Control and then C to say I've copied that. Now I want to paste it and say Control V. I now have 2 identical slides. Right, so this is now slide number 2. But on slide number 2, what do I want to have? I'll check on the other one. I have all these text boxes. So here I will say objectives, but my objectives is having a certain color. Okay, objectives. I will not add a lot of text, and then my objective. So this one is having a certain color, which is this one, and then my objectives, let me say this is my objective number 1, which is PowerPoint overview. Right, so I say I highlight everything by pressing Control and play. Then I change the color to red, since the color is red on that slide. Then I may say copy this one, Control C, Control V. Right, I adjust the positions, and then here I may say tabs. Then from there I may say Control C, Control V. Now I'm copying and just editing the text. The next thing is the ribbon, and then from the ribbon I have what? Groupings. Then groupings, and then maybe I may choose to have this side and just say to the top so that all my points can fit within the slide. I don't want to have more points coming in or overlapping to the next slide. And then here I say presenters notes. Right, lastly we have animations, which we are going to talk about. So let's say animations, and animations will be covered with two slides, the one with the rolling egg and the other one with colliding balls. Balls always collide, so you will see colliding balls like I showed you previously. So right here, this is the first slide. So if I click here, my slides would start to run from the beginning, presenter's name. Then if I click next, you will see if I click next, let me run it from here. Say I'm running from next, from start, then next. PowerPoint is now pointing in, and if I click next, the next slide is the one that is coming with objectives, and I say next, PowerPoint overview, next, tabs. So you see all these, they are bouncing because I've applied only this animation to these text boxes. So let's change the animations. So I can click here and then say animations. I want this one to zoom. I want everything to zoom in because zoom is my favorite animation. So let's test. So if I click this icon, it will run from the beginning, but I want it to run from the current slide. So I will choose this icon, which is at the bottom here, and just fold my hands. Objective is coming, zooming, 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 zooming. Right, so my points are now zooming in. I think I'm done with the first two slides, which is this. Right, let's go to the next one, which is talking about PowerPoint interface and interface overview. So what I will do is I will copy this slide like I showed you. I will click the slide, you say Ctrl+C and then Ctrl+V. The slide is copied. Then here I now say PowerPoint over interface. Then here I say PowerPoint, I say interface overview. Right, so I will delete this, click this one, I'll click this one and then click delete, click that one and delete. You see, if it's having dotted borders, it's not selected, so I select this one so that it's having solid borders, then delete, delete it. Right, so I drag this one down a bit. Then interface overview, I need to insert the picture like we are having here on the previous slide that we have been talking about. So what I do is insert what picture, and then my pictures, where are they? Then this folder, say ESPT attachment. No, that's not it. And then this one is interface overview. And I say insert. So the picture's there. I drag it to the position where I want it to be. So I can drag it anywhere here. And then I drag this one there, and then this one there. I think I want this filling here. Right, so that's it. Let's test this slide here. well, it's having the picture already on. Why? Because it doesn't have an animation applied to it. So let's apply animation to our image. So click our image and then say animations. We add an animation. We want this picture to do what, to come as, let's save it, let's save it further. Let's test. Wow, it's now coming in that style. Right, we copy this one and then see. This picture is now blocking our footer, so we don't want it to do that. So let's say I want this slide to be the first one. I just drag it to the first one, the first slide, and then when I say begin from the beginning, that's it. So I don't want it to be there, I want it to be here in the bottom. So see, that's what we have. So from the interface we talk about what? The tabs. So here just say tabs, then here I can delete this, I can say delete. After I click it and then delete it, insert again picture, and then this is what and insert, and then minimize my then I can move it drag up until it fits here. I can drag this one there. Then that's our PowerPoint interface tabs. So here instead of saying interface, I can say tabs, and then this one is interface. Yes, so yes, tabs, you see the tabs here, and then this one is having no animation. Let's save this one, come in a bouncing fashion. Right, so from here, how do we want to move from this slide to this one? We are now applying what is called transition. So we have transition here. I want it to move that way, so I may preview and see. Okay, that's how I can open the next slide. Okay, let me choose this one, and then preview. So that's how it comes up. So when I say, that's how I get into this slide. So that's my first transition. The second transition, I want it to be this way. I preview it. It's not actually showing something, so let's save it this way and have a preview. And the color is not proper. Let me just choose this one and then have it that way. It's not showing anyway, so let's choose this one. Right, so that's the second transition. So that's how we get into this slide. And then how do we get into this slide? So that's a transition. How do you get into this slide? By peeling something, peeling off. Let's see how peeling off works. It opens. So let's save a test. Right, that's fine. So how let's go to the next, which is tabs. You can choose to have this one, so it breaks what is there, and then open this one. So we have that. Let's have another slide which is about from tabs we go to ribbon. So we copy this one, say Control C, Control V. Right, after saying Control V, instead of saying so here it's what, ribbon, so I changed this one to ribbon. Then this one I also say ribbon. Then here I can right click here and then say change picture, and then go work offline. Let me restart this one. I right click and then select change picture, then at the bottom right corner of the window that popped up, there is a command called work offline, or you can just wait up until it gives you browse from a file, or you can search from the internet, or you can search from your OneDrive. But I'm going to browse. And then the picture that I want here is this one, which is for the ribbon. And then I'll resize my ribbon image to fit my slide, right, and I drag it to a position there. Then I apply an animation, and the animation that I apply here, let me apply fly in. Let me apply fly in. So this is my ribbon, and then let's preview. Right, so it's having two animations. So let's open animation pane and delete one of these. This is the one that we do not want. Remove it. Let's preview again. It must fly in. Right, so that's how it flies in. Right, let's so the ribbon, we are done. What's next? From ribbon we have grouping. So we copy, we click there, we say Control C, Control V. Right, we now have our grouping. So you click on the last one, so you say groupings, then here we say groupings. You may put anything, or you can put some text boxes, you may put some illustrations, or you may put a video. So you want to change this picture, you right click on it, you say change picture, so you click on browse. So this one is what groupings, you select groupings image, then you apply animation. Since we said change picture, the animation did not change. So if you want to change it, just click on the one that you want to apply. So I will choose this one, the shape, and then test how the slide will go. So that's how shape animation runs. Then we go to the next slide. So you see it's now copying and pasting. Then from groupings we go to what? From groupings we go to presenters notes. Then presenters notes, yes, we just copy it and then say, let me just say Control O and then say PowerPoint. Yes, I don't know why I've deleted that PowerPoint. Then here I say presenters notes. So here I choose to delete the image and work with only text boxes. So I control and click on Control C, Control V, and then drag it to a position, and I highlight and change the font size to something around 40. Let me just keep it there so that maybe you can see what I'm typing here. Then I can say only for the presenter. Why did I say only for the presenter? This is just to keep it short, only for the presenter. What is it that is only for the presenter? The presenter is the one that is going to elaborate this powerful point, right? So I may choose to change, and you need to be consistent with your colors. Say headings, they are of that color, and then whatever that is coming after is red. So we may choose another red, and not to bold it. I'll just leave it that way. Let's just bold this one. This one bolded, yes. Right, so I'm going to do that. But now, how do I now add presenters notes? There is this button called notes. You can click on it, and then you click to add notes. You click here at the bottom to add your notes. Here at the bottom, click there, and then you can say here is the position where the presenter can add their notes. You see, here is the position where the presenter can add their notes. That's it. And these notes, they do not appear on slideshow. Right. So I think you are now good at coming up with the slide or slideshow, which is very smart and with little content and more value. So it's better to use pictures and better to use images as illustrations, or to avoid having a lot of text on your slide. The moment you have a lot of text, you will distract your audience. They will start to read the stuff and not listen to you. So if you want your audience to listen to you, put a little of animations, a little of transitions to keep them captivated. Say, wow, what's that? And then the moment they say that, they view that, they now want to hear what you are going to say. You don't take a lot of time expanding each point, because the points themselves, they are powerful. So the moment you start to elaborate, we assume that your audience now understands. You do not take much time. You get that? So few points, few time of expanding or elaborating the points, and the points must be powerful. Extract or make sure that you choose powerful points that you want to put on your slide. So I think I've covered a lot and most of the important things on PowerPoint. So let's now go to, right, before we go anywhere, there was that slide. Let's add some transitions here. I want to add, I'm having that one. Let me have this one here, and then on this one let me have a curtain, right? So I may say let me insert a new slide where we are going to put the rolling egg, where we're going to have the rolling egg. So we delete this, we delete that. Let's close our animation pane, and then what you want to insert. Before we do the rolling egg, let me show you. Let's now see our slide from the beginning. So this is our slide. We're now presenting. My name is Shexa Martin. I am teaching PowerPoint presentation or PowerPoint application, which exists within Microsoft Office. Nonsense. We go to the next slide. We now talk about your other topic, which is about the objectives. You say objective number 1 is this, and objective number 2, objective number 3, objective number 4, objective number 5, up until you are done with them all. Then that's transition. So I want to have some sounds. So let's say we choose to put sound on this slide that is having a certain transition. This one with this transition, right? So I will put some sound here. You can choose sound here. I want to put a bomb sound there. So when I run this slide, you see, you hear that? Let's run it again. You hear the bomb, Right, so that's the sound applied to this slide. So you may also choose not to click on the mouse for this slide to start. You may choose to start it after 1 second. So when I go to the previous slide and start to run it, you see that it starts to run by itself without me clicking anything. Without clicking anything. So the slide will start to move. And the sound goes like that. So that's it for this for the sound. What else? I think most of the things that I think are important, we've talked about them, and you may apply this timing and this sound to every slide. So let's talk about the rolling egg now. We've let me delete this slide and start to insert it again. New slide. Let me delete all these things. Let me delete this and then insert a shape, and then the shape that I choose is this one. I will draw it that way, then I put it there, then I choose this style, and then I'll go on shape outline to change the weight, and I go to 6 point, and you see, and I want my egg to have this color. Then I'll add another shape here, a circle, and I will click there and choose outline weight, that, and I change the color to, no, this is the color of the inner color. Let me put get red there, then put another shape there, and this one I'm going to have it applied to that, and then we have this another color which I think is okay. Then we change, no, I inserted the wrong color, outline color. I want to have this one, and then weight I put 6 points here. Right, so I click to I want to group these. So because the moment I move this one, you can see that other items are remaining behind, so I don't want to do that. So what I do is I click that, and then I click on control, and then click other objects, so that I highlight all the objects, and if I start to move, it moves as a group. You see, so I want to group these, so I right click and then click on group them. So the moment I start to drag this, it's now moving as one object. So let me put it back to that. Now I want to apply a animation to this, so I click on animation. So on animation we have spin here, under emphasis spin. Let's test whether our egg is now spinning. That's fine. Then we can actually add another animation, and the animation that we want is the one that moves our egg from one position to another, so our egg can move. Let's say okay, let's extend. I want it to move to this position, right. So let me test. It spins, then moves, but I don't want it to do it this way. I want it to spin at the same time moving to that location, to the other location. So what do? I open the animation pane, then I say this one must start with the previous, and then run it like that. So you see my egg is now rolling. So if I can run it here, you can see that the egg is rolling. So that's it for the rolling egg. It's rolling, taka taka. Right, let's now go to colliding bars. Let's insert a new slide, and then delete all these text boxes. Delete that, delete this one as well. And then what do you want to insert? We want to insert a picture, but the picture we want to get the picture from the internet. So I'm going to download the picture. I'm going to get the picture from my browser, which is Opera. So this is my Opera. So I do it that way. What do? I Google here to say Champions League ball, and then search, then down or I click on images. So I choose this image, copy image, then go to my slide, then add the image, paste it there. I want it to be here. Then I search for another English Premier League ball. Let's say 2020. Right, and I choose this one, copy image, then paste it here. And can paste it there. So this one I want it to be, so I want this one to be, yes, this one will be rotating, so I want this one to spin. So I go to animation and then I choose what spin there. Then after choosing spin, this one shall not spin. This one shall not spin. So I test whether it's spinning. Yes, it's spinning. Right. So what do? I add animation, which is animation. I choose animation, and I'm going to choose this one. No, I selected the wrong ball. I want this one. Let's add animation, then choose arc. Right, now you edit the points to say I want this ball to be finally here. Right, I want it to be finally here, but I want it to move in this part so that it collides with that ball here. Then I delete this point, and then take another point there, and then reshape my path there. Somebody keeps on calling me here. Let me apply. Please answer this call and tell them that I'm busy with another lecture. Alright, so let me preview. Like that. After that, you see that the ball is rotating to this location. Now what I want is edit the points, then move the ball to that location. So I want the ball to go there. So what do? I preview. It spins, then moves. Right. So I want this to happen at the same time. So start with previous, and then check, spinning, and then going that way. See, let's preview. But this ball is now, it's not moving. Now let's add an animation to that one, and then we add an arc. Then we say okay. Then we edit the path. Right. So I want this ball to be finally here, but it goes to collide with that ball there, and then I delete these points. Right. So I think it must go well. So this one starts with what? With previous, so that they collide at the same time. So I go now, you see they are colliding, but this one must go back so that we don't see the white color. Right, so I think I need to edit the points here, right, then right, they are now bouncing. Now I want to add just so let's run it to check whether the balls are colliding. Yes, they are colliding, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Let's check again. All right, it's okay. Let's say I don't want this one to start after clicking, so I say start with previous, and then start to run it and check whether they are all right colliding. It's okay. Right, I want this to repeat forever, so I say timing, and so let me just highlight everything. So I click on my control, then highlight all these animations, and then click on the drop down arrow and then say timing, repeat forever until end of slide. Okay, then I can run it. Right, it's okay. Let's execute it. Let's run the slide and check. Right, it's repeating, but I want the balls to move back and forth. So what I do is I click on this animation, I highlight all these animations, and then go to effect options, and I say auto reverse, and then click OK, and then check what happens. It's now bouncing back, going back and forth. But now I want some sound. I want to say when the balls collide, I want some sound. So how do we now add the sound? Let's download a certain video from the internet. So what do? You click there, and then we say, we open YouTube. That's where the sound is. And we Google for kick punch sound. Kick punch sound. Right, let's download kick punch sound. Effects here. Effects from. Right, let's choose this one and download it. Let's choose this one and download it. Right, let's choose that one and download it. But let's not waste time, because I have downloaded it here. I can download it here. Right, since I've downloaded it already, what I will do is I'll just insert. What do I want to insert? A video, online video on my PC. And where is the video? I think the video is within videos, and this is the video. Then insert it within this video. Let me just minimize it there and put it there. I want it to be very small. Let's play it. Right, so that's the sound that we're going to hear. So let's go to playback, and I want it to start automatically. Let's test. Right, so we click when the balls collide. Right, so we put our we put this sound somewhere. Let's go to right, so we have our sound there, and then start to run it. Right, you click on the video, so something went wrong here. So but that's how we can actually animate our ball and have it make some sounds like that. Right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we animate, that's how we actually prepare a PowerPoint slide. So you can add some notes. So let's run this from scratch. Fold your hands, the title comes in, you talk about yourself, and you say next, you talk about the topic. Before you are done talking about this PowerPoint point, you then click next, so that the transitions and the other animations, they come in as you conclude the previous slide, and then this one comes in as you start to speak about this slide. Then you speak about it, you talk about the other point, you talk about the other point, you talk about the other point, you talk about the other point. And the moment you find that you are almost done talking about this presenter's notes, you then click next. Sorry, the moment you find that you are almost done talking about animations, which is the last point on this slide, you click next, so that the P goes, which is the transition, animations goes, and then the main point or the main subject of this slide comes up. Then you start to talk about it, you talk about interface, so that the moment your audience is done reading this, the moment once they are done reading the title, you get in, or you pitch in, you share more, or you elaborate. You get that? You get to the interface, then you kill it on the image with illustrations. If you are having a laser pointer, you might actually point on the tabs and other features that are appearing on the image. Then you say, you go next, then you open that, you open that. Once you are almost done, you open the next slide. It goes that way, it goes, you go, and the sound goes. So you can add sounds on every slide or many slides, depending on what you want. So that's the slide that we have created, presenter's notes, and you have our rolling egg, and then we have our colliding waves. Right, so that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very